Hello fans. Welcome to the channel. Paul Pogba teams up with Novak Djokovic in Miami. As Paul Pogba searches for a new club, he teams up with tennis superstar Novak Djokovic in Miami. Football icon Paul Pogba and tennis legend Novak Djokovic were recently spotted together in Miami. The meeting, captured in a viral Instagram post by Pogba, shows the duo sharing a warm embrace and exchanging smiles. Pogba and Djokovic. Djokovic, widely regarded as one of the greatest tennis players of all time with a record-breaking 24 Grand Slam titles, collaborated on the social media post. Along with the photo was a message that said, "Only positive vibes with the legend and friend Jokernoll." Pogba, the dynamic French midfielder known for his stints at Manchester United, Juventus, and the French national team, has been making headlines following his clearance from a doping ban earlier this year. Now a free agent, Pogba is still searching for a new team after his 18-month suspension was reduced. Rumors suggest potential opportunities in Major League Soccer, MLS, with clubs like LAFC, where he could reunite with former French teammates, or a dramatic return to Europe to prepare for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. His presence in Miami aligns with these speculations, as he was also previously spotted with football icon David Beckham. Pogba teased joining Inter Miami as Beckham is a stakeholder at the club and was influential in recruiting Lionel Messi to the club. Paul Pogba set for Juventus return in 2025 after doping ban reduced. Paul Pogba has seen his 4-year suspension reduced to just 18 months, which means that he will be eligible to return to competitive football with Juventus in 2025, according to multiple reports in Italy and the UK. Pogba 4-year suspension reduced to 18 months. The former France international was handed a 4-year ban after failing a doping test in August 2023 after the opening Serie A fixture of the 2023-24 season, a 3-0 win over Udinese. The former Manchester United midfielder was found to have traces of the banned substance DHEA in his system. DHEA is known to cause increased levels of testosterone in the system. However, after a successful appeal to the European Court of Arbitration in Lausanne, Pogba's 4-year suspension has been reduced to just 18 months. Sky Sport Italia, La Gazzetta dello Sport and others suggest that the Frenchman will be able to return to Juventus training in January, and will look to make a return to competitive action in March 2025. Pogba is still under contract with Juventus until the summer of 2026. He has been earning the minimum of around €2,000 per month during his suspension. Qualification for the 2026 World Cup continues this week, with a host of mouth-watering clashes coming our way from the Asian Football Confederation. "Finally the nightmare is over," Pogba said in a statement on Friday. "I can look forward to the day when I can follow my dreams again. I always stated that I never knowingly breached World Anti-Doping Agency regulations when I took a nutritional supplement prescribed to me by a doctor, which does not affect or enhance the performance of male athletes. I play with integrity and, although I must accept that this is a strict liability offense, I want to place on record my thanks to the Court of Arbitration for Sports judges who heard my explanation. This has been a hugely distressing period in my life because everything I have worked so hard for has been put on hold." Upon his ban, the 31-year-old said he was sad, shocked and heartbroken that everything I have built in my professional playing career has been taken away from me. The former France international, once renowned as one of world football's most exciting players, rejoined Juventus in 2022 after a 6-year spell with Manchester United. His move to the Premier League club in 2016 saw him become the world's most expensive transfer, with the Premier League club spending £89 million to acquire the midfielder from Juventus. The midfielder was a key member of France's World Cup winning campaign in 2018, scoring in the 4-2 win over Croatia in the final. He was ruled out of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar with a knee injury. Zirkzee dropped, Mount in, what Ruben Amorim's strongest Man United 11 could look like for run-in. Manchester United could welcome several key players back from injury before the end of the season, meaning Ruben Amorim could have some big decisions to make when settling on his strongest starting 11. Manchester United will resume their campaign when they travel to the City Ground to face Nottingham Forest in the Premier League in just under a fortnight's time. United signed off for the final hiatus of the season by registering back-to-back victories for the first time since the end of January, beating Real Sociedad 4-1 in the Europa League and Leicester City 3-0 in the Premier League. United's main focus on the other side of the pause will be the Europa League and attempting to navigate their way to the final in Bilbao on May 21st. The competition offers them their last remaining hope of winning a trophy this season and securing Champions League qualification for 2025-26. Head coach Ruben Amorim will hope to welcome a crop of players back from injury before the end of the season, including the likes of Harry Maguire, Leny Yoro, and Kobbie Mainoo. It is understood Lisandro Martinez is the only injured player who will definitely miss the rest of the season. Amad could return before the end of the campaign, but he is unlikely to have enough time to get into any sort of rhythm to have a big impact before the curtain comes down on the season. With that in mind, our writers have had their say on what they think United's strongest 11 could be heading into the closing stages of the season. Tyrone Marshall. Amorim's options should certainly look a lot better in the coming weeks as players edge their way back into contention. Even without Martinez and Amad, there is suddenly more strength in the squad if he can get, and keep, everyone else fit. Onana is the obvious selection in goal, but centre-back has selection debates now. We don't yet know the extent of Heaven's injury, but I would have him back on the bench anyway. De Ligt has been good in recent weeks, while Maguire has excelled in that position in the middle of the back three. Yoro will be the third member of that trio. Dorgu has looked impressive on the left, and his dynamism on that flank and ability to get forward has added another attacking weapon to the squad. It also allows Dalot to go back to the right and hopefully get a run of games on his favored flank. I would keep Fernandes in a deeper role. I think his partnership with Ugarte has a nice balance to it, and that is something that can only improve as the season goes on. Casemiro can feature in the Europa League as a European specialist. With Zirkzee and Mainoo now operating as number 10s, there is competition for those places, but I would still play Garnacho as he offers a different attacking threat. This might be controversial, but I think those roles could really suit Mount as well, and I'd like to see him get a run of games. Højlund. United dealt with an unprecedented injury crisis last season and have suffered some rotten luck with injuries again, but there is reason for optimism after the international break. Back-to-back wins have provided some much-needed hope for the business end of the season, and there have been promising signs of Amorim's system finally beginning to click. Amorim named something close to his strongest team against Leicester on Sunday evening. For the sake of this article, I'd just make 4 changes to that team, and that would mean bringing in Maguire, Yoro, Dorgu and Mainoo for Heaven, Lindelof, Mazraoui and Zirkzee respectively. Maguire and Yoro are no-brainers, and Dorgu is the only natural left wing-back in the squad, which means he should be a shoo-in to make this strongest 11 for the remainder of the season. Who plays in the right-sided number 10 position is clearly more contentious. Zirkzee has proven his quality in the last few weeks, and Mount has the skill set to succeed in that role, but perhaps the best option will be Mainoo, who some have appeared to forget about during his spell on the sidelines. Mainoo was exceptional in that role against FCSB in the Europe League. He assisted and scored in January, and he's simply far too talented to start the majority of games on the bench. With a crop of key players set to return in the coming weeks, Amorim could have a selection headache on his hands, but that can only be a good thing. Onana should continue as first-choice goalkeeper in the hope of retaining his place ahead of next season. With Maguire and Yoro closing in on returns, they will both be eyeing spots in Amorim's first-choice 11. Yoro is a long-term option, and he has shown glimpses of what he can offer as the right-sided centre-back.